What's up, gang? How's it going? Hope everybody's doing well. Everything in paradise is okay today. Another day in paradise. You know, when I first got here, I never had a dream of having birds. Never. I never had a dream of having birds. I just always like, leave birds be free and fly around and enjoy life. My eyes are so sore from sweating and rubbing them. The skin there is really, really sore. Yeah, I never had a plan to have birds in an aviary. I thought that's cruel. I don't like that. But I went to the pet shop one day and said I seen like 20 to 30 budgies in a cage that two would live in. And I just looked at that and I thought, dude, that is like crazy cruel. You know, they couldn't even flap their wings without bothering somebody next to you. So I said to the birds that day, I'm going to go home and build an aviary, and I'm going to bring some of you guys here. And you know, you could buy them and let them go, but how long they're going to last? 48 hours? So I bought them here and took care of them. I think I bought 6. I've had them since I've been here. I think like I want to say they're like been here at least 6 years. And so Simi was younger then, Jan's daughter. So we 3 of us went to the pet shop, and I picked 2, Jan picked 2, and Simi picked 2. So there were 6, and they multiplied to over 20. And then the python come, and then each night one would disappear, or every couple of nights one would disappear. And I'm looking in there trying to find the snake. I couldn't find the snake. There's no holes. I'm like, what's happening? And I could not figure it out. And some nights I would come out here and I'd shine the flashlight in, torch in, looking. I think, why are they disappearing? And one night, sometimes I used to shine the light into the nesting boxes, because mom or a baby would pop her head out. Well, I did this one night, and the snake popped his head out. I was like, dude, there you are. And it was a python. It was about, from what I remember, about 1 meter 20, 1 meter, maybe close to half a meter, 1.5 meters. And so the first thing I did is I went in the house, I got my battery screwdriver, went in the workshop, found a small piece of wood, and screwed the door shut so he couldn't get out. Then the next day in the light, I took that off, and of course he didn't want to come out, so I put it back on, and I got a piece of thick wire with a hook on it, and got in there and tried to pull his body out. I couldn't get his body. It was about 1.5 inches thick, like 60, 70, quite thick. And so because I kept pulling him, he got irritated and started coming out. So as soon as his head popped out, I put I had a 5-liter water container, and his head only just fit in the size of that, to give you a reference. And once he got about halfway, he turned around and was trying to get back out. So he couldn't get me with his head, so I physically grabbed him, pulled him out the box, and stuffed him in the jug, put the lid on, put everything back to normal, and got out and took him for a ride. Some of the shorts I made recently, I found that on my phone and published it. I was going to wring his neck, but in the end I've seen how beautiful he was, and I thought, you know, he's just doing what nature does. So I took him for a ride down the road where nobody lives and let him go next to the river. But now I think I think it was down to 4. I think it was down to 4 birds left by the time I found what was going on. And because I just couldn't figure it out until I put that light in. Anyway, I got 2 more birds to add to the gene pool, and for some reason one of the yellow ones, the original ones, do not like the idea of anybody laying eggs, because every time one of them pair lay an egg and start to have babies, she pushes it out the nest. So do I push her out or just leave her? I thought, you know something, just leave her alone. But you know, I said this before, when you build stuff, you build your focus on it, you build it, then you put your focus on the next thing and build this and fix this and so on. And eventually I realized, you know something? The birds looked really neglected. I feed them every day and water them every day, make sure they're okay. But they look neglected. The Avery needs some maintenance. So let me show you what my plan is. So I built this out of some scrap wood that I had here already and some wood that I went and bought. So I made it quite stable, and because of the winds here, you can see over there on the corner it's pinned to the floor in about 2 different places. Yeah, one over in this corner and one over in that corner, so the wind can't blow it away. Because when the wind comes from the north, man, in the big storms, but it hasn't moved at all. Anyway, the outside is still okay. They got some bugs trying to eat one of the supports over here, this column, but I'm going to spray it, I think, with some bug poison, and then put something there so the birds can't get next to it for 24 hours. So there's there's 8 birds left, not 6. So there was 6 birds. I got 2 more, and now there's 8. And most nights I count them, see if there's still a roll call. So the only thing that's neglected is I haven't updated it. Everything else is okay. You can see, I guess you can see through the wire. Somebody wants to, you see that box over there up on the side, there's a big oval hole. They oval this out, chew the wood. But they got, it's hard to find cuttlefish here that they bite to file their beak down, because the beak grows like a nail on your hand. So I got this white block and put that there, and they use that. They get on that and they've whittled it right down and made it all round, which is nice. And then their water, which I changed, needs changing today. It's up high because it flooded a few times, remember? So what I want to do is update, and here's my plan. So here's my plan. I think it's about 140 or something, whatever the distance between the pillar that goes up and down. I'm going to extend it back the same distance or a little bit more. I think to about here somewhere, right? So what I'll do is I'll make a complete independent Avery, but connected to the main Avery there. And then I'll put another door. So all this is a mango tree. It doesn't get enough sun, so it doesn't produce anything. Well, if it does, the squirrels steal it, but all this is gonna go. And there's some blackberry bushes over here. I'm gonna move them because they don't get enough sun. They grow, but they don't produce any. Last year they produced like 5 berries or something, but I'll move them till they get into some sun. Then I'll extend this across. Probably gonna make like a little footing, maybe a foot in the ground, all the way around, and then put some pillars in, and then I can put sand in, or maybe come up 2 feet and then put sand in, and stone and sand, so about 3 inches of sand on top. That way, if it floods, it's higher up, and they can get on top of that, you know, maybe 2 foot higher, like a wall of some description, and then build the walls and put a new roof on. And I think then what I can do is, you know, after changing the roof and everything's done, I want to build a waterfall inside it. I want to build a waterfall because I like to play in the water. When the gang was here before, when they were all here, I used to when you put the hose in to fill it up, you stand there for a long time because they're just playing in the water. You know, jumping in and out, drinking the water off the wire and things like that. So I want to make a small waterfall. Probably I've seen them on Shopee, solar powered sprinkler. So, you know, hang the solar thing on the roof or on the wall or something at an angle, and then so as the sun comes up in the morning, they'll get the waterfall will start to run with the sprinkler in it, and it won't be big or fast. It'll be a couple foot tall, that's all, but it'll be a little bit of a sprinkler that can play in that water. And then you just top it up, and if you know, you put new water in, and then it has an overflow so it can't overfill. And I'm wiggling here because there's bloody bugs all over the place. Yeah, make the waterfall, and then some other nesting boxes and water and all that jazz, right? And then open a hole between the two and allow them to fly into that section, chase them all into the new section, and then I can go back into the old section, take out all their old nesting boxes, throw them all out, and build new ones, put new ropes in and things like that. I used to put hemp rope in there, but they chew through it and break it. So now they have a nylon rope in there, which is thick, so like perfect for their feet. So they can, you know, like the size of a guy's thick middle finger maybe, and they land and play on that. So I'll change all the ropes, change everything. The wire on the outside's new, so no need to change that. But if anything needs like more waterproof or whatever, I can do that then. And then when it's finished, take all the wire down between the two, and then they can just fly. I always wanted to have it longer so they can have a good flight without having to land, you know. So it'll turn what I think it's like a 2.5 meters long. So between the two is like a 1.20 meters, something like that. That's right. Yeah. So 2 meters. I think it's 2 meters. 2 meters something long. So when I put the new one in, it'll be closer to 3 meters, I hope, so they can have a better flight. And then open it back up, and they can have the whole thing back again. But I'll put many nesting boxes in. I might get some more, you know, a male and a female, a couple more, or just leave them as they are and see if they'll start producing. The 6 original ones have been here a long time. The 2 new ones, which are the purpley blue ones, they were the new ones I bought. What do you think? Good idea? Long-winded story to say I'm going to improve the Avery. I'm going to finish the cave first, get that done. But my projects nowadays are going to be much, much smaller. No building houses, no building anything big. It's like I want something small. I think if I ever moved into an apartment, I wound up renovating somebody else's apartment because I get bored sitting still. I'm not old enough yet to just want to sit or go drink a beer and sleep all day. I can't do that. So maybe John said today you need to slow down and stop being so busy. I said, when I'm 90, I've got energy still. So as long as I can walk and do and think, I'm going to keep going. But the projects are going to be smaller and less expensive. The money's not a problem, but it's just like I'm wasting my money because I'm going to do the waterfall and finish that corner. I think once I finish the waterfall, I'll stop, come over here, and then I can go back over there and potter along. Because I said to Jan today that I think this morning actually felt like a winter morning. Cool, low humidity with a breeze. And when she left today, I said about that winter, and she goes, yeah, I felt the same. And it's only September, so I hope that's a good sign that we'll have a really cold winter. The coldest winter that since I've been here is 16 degrees one morning, centigrade. Some people are like, are you serious? Yes, I actually had to put a long sleeve t-shirt on one day, and another day, I think for like 3 days through that one winter, I think that was like 2-3 years ago, I put a fleece on in the early morning to come outside and wander around for about 30 minutes to an hour. But it soon got, so the fleece came off, and soon after this t-shirt came off. But people say, "Oh, I walk around in the daytime working with no t-shirt on in the middle of that winter." People say, "Aren't you cold?" And they go by with big jackets. It says, "Not once I start working." Hot. Western, I guess. I don't know what it is. Anyway, on my body is always hot. So what is that? Yin energy or something. I don't know. I once went to keep an eye on, you know who's going to creep up on when you're around here. I went to a Chinese doctor in the US once, and he says, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What do you mean, what am I doing?" He says, I think he said yin. Your yin energy is really hot. Stop it. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. Just, at that time I wasn't really training neither. I think I was doing a little bit at home. Oh no, I was going to a gym in Oxford where I lived. That's right. Anyway, guys, time to sign off. This is a little pump house. There's a water pump in there. Turn the pump on and go water the plants in the shade garden. Plants in the Waterfall. Shade garden's gone. Workshop's here now. Water the plants in the Waterfall. It's supposed to rain, so I think I might give the orchids a little bit of water, and that's it. But I'm a bit frightened to go over into the woods because there's going to be millions of mosquitoes. But I'm just going to water the hanging baskets only. Okay, guys? Thanks for watching. If you're still here, no way you can be still here. No way. If so, I'm still here. Buckets of blessings, guys. Rivers of peace, joy, and kindness. All the very best. See you later.